morning, folks. Welcome to the Daily Dose of Dawn. Now, it is January the 17th. Today, we're going to be playing some Marvel Ultimate Alliance today. I don't really know why I haven't been doing episodes grinding this out before, but what the hell, you know? Because this game takes grinding anyways. Of course, we might figure out why pretty quickly, but maybe not. I don't know. You see, we got Thor, Storm, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel out there. Taking on the New Brotherhood. Let's see how well we do. I guess first up on the docket today, been watching Severance. Watching more of that, and holy crap, is it awesome! Yes, it does continue. Alright, I'm gonna totally freaking spoil it. So, like, yeah, the whole point of this thing is like your work self is a totally different person, and they are taking all of the shit in your life while your outie gets to go do whatever the fuck and doesn't remember work and just go home and yeah, cool. And well, it turns out that other person on the new girl does not really like this setup. So she, after trying to quit and that fails and all that, nope, now she's just gonna off herself. And straight up, like, that was the end of episode 4. Just, she just nonchalantly grabs a fucking extension cord and a fucking, you know, a trash can or some shit and fucking bam, hangs herself. Now, I mean, they do get to her in time, save her life, stop her from killing herself. Good. But, jeez, man, that was a little bit brutal, that depiction. I kind of get why there was a trigger warning at the beginning of the episode. And I'll give it to him, like, that was probably a good idea.
Are burning, brick and ash everywhere. She calls the sky down. He stands in purple light. The hammer spins, metal bends against her will. At the X-Men show, where the walls came down. At the X-Men show, nobody's backing down. Vibranium goals tearing through the air. The god brings thunder. She brings the storm to the rear. He keeps on coming. Nothing stops that wave. Shifting faces, every move's a new man.
Yeah, I gotta admit, this might be the only episode for this game, because it is difficult to keep the old train of thought going. But we'll see how well it goes. There is still a bit more.
Stay at the X-Men show, where the walls came down.
Moving right along here, folks. We are gonna continue on with our ongoing series, Tales from the Army. Woo! Alright, we're gonna back on up here back on up to basic training again, alright? Not really basic training, but it's actually, this is an ongoing thing throughout the Army, we'll just say. Yeah, you see, there's a lot of things that shaped my personality in the beginning, and there is certainly, I would say, the Army made me afraid of two things: marriage and credit. Alright? Those were the two ways you got stuck in the Army, they look like. Okay? Basically, you either got married and then knocked her up, and now you got a kid, so now you're stuck paying for it, and you're afraid to go try to get a real job. Or you just totally fucked your credit up, and you literally, like, cannot get out of the Army sometimes in that scenario. Yeah, because, you know, how else are you gonna pay your creditors off? They ain't gonna let you do that. And then on top of that, because your credit is shit, you're now disqualified from all the cool jobs. So, yeah, even better. Now you're a damn grunt forever. Good job. So, yeah. However, interestingly enough, that's also a large retention tool for the military. Which is really the only, like, explanation for this that I can come up with for why, like, straight from the get-go, like, basic training Fort Leonard Wood. I remember people trying to sell me crap on credit. I mean, like, the one that always will stick out is, like, the family crest, sword and shield. And I mean, it's like a shield that I could probably, like, kick through. And a claymore sword that I remember being able to lift this thing above my head with one hand. Anybody familiar with different types of swords would know, like, you should not be able to do that with a claymore. As a two-handed, bam, heavy-ass sword. I'll be fair, I did fall for, I think I did buy, like, one of the stupid Army class rings or something, and it didn't even say the right thing on it. I bought that on credit and, like, paid it off fine. And I did get the military star card. So the military star card, it's like this special credit card that you get that works at the PX. And man, I got one, but I literally just did the whole, like, I got the credit card, and I did the first purchase with it to get the additional 10% off. And then basically just destroyed that thing. Like, not even falling into that trap. And it's hard to save money in the military. You'd think it would be easy with no bills, but the problem is like, unless you're married and living in a regular house, it's not like you can buy anything in bulk. You gotta buy everything individually. Like, you know, it ain't easy to live like that, man. Or save money like that, at least. You're gonna have your friggin' necessities, unless you're like one of them psychopaths that just, like, straight up eats at the chow hall every motherfucking meal and never goes anywhere, which we did have them guys. Most infamous one is not on Facebook either. Alright. But oh no, man, I've just... I will say, being stationed in Germany, I never got exposed to what I'd always heard about, the infamous, like, car dealerships right outside the base on, in the American side. I mean, I think I looked at a car once in Germany, but just was like, no. Like, no. Oh. Nah, man, like I said, though, I just saw too many people there. Their credit was fucked, so they ended up having to re-enlist. Luckily, nowadays, I use credit very well, but that is an entirely different situation. Alright, that is gonna do it for Tales from the Army. Fuck Ronan here up. Bam. Oh, look at that. Electra's joined the party, too. Nobody's backing down. Cosmic fire means the magnetism of unstoppable means immovable. The yard is split in half, standing in the wreckage now. Take a moment, of course, remind you, make sure you are hitting that like and subscribe button, hit the follow, hit a comment, let me know what's going on, what's on your mind, tell me how dumb I am, tell me how great I am, or just say something irrelevant, what the hell, why not? Much better to remove all doubt than to stay silent and be thought a fool. How about that? As you notice, well, I mean, you could probably notice by now there, I fill in the dead space with the songs. But I haven't done 2 of these for South Park. I've decided that that's only going to be like the first time we ever do a certain game like grinding like this. So don't worry, this will be the only episode where you gotta suffer through that. going to revisit another segment of our ongoing miniseries, Mansplaining the Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, that's right, folks. You thought the final mansplanation had happened, and, well, turns out I lied. There's definitely more mansplaining to do. Mainly because now I'm in all these Facebook groups that I spam these videos in, so new theories keep popping up, and I'm like, hey, that actually is a little bit interesting. Now, the one I've seen going around a lot lately, or, well, maybe not lately, I have noticed in these groups it's mostly the same AI stuff, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. Let's turn that down just a little bit here. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. But anyway, so the latest thing I'm seeing a lot of, like, apparently some eagle-eyed viewer noticed some of the women at Jezebels are dressed as children. Like the Gilead children wearing like the whatever crap they have them wear. Now, I'll admit my first thought was like, oh my god, really? Like, no, that's a bridge too far. What the fuck? No. Although I did then remember, like, yes, Catholic schoolgirl costumes are a thing. Now I'll admit, I hadn't really thought about that for a very long time. When I was like 20, yeah, a Catholic schoolgirl uniform, like, sounded pretty hot. Nowadays, I'm kind of like, can you put on some big girl clothes, please? But, I mean, that would just be me, alright? Now, I mean, because it goes back to, like, the whole, in season 2, Nick getting forced to impregnate the 15-year-old. I mean, I'm just, like, I get that there are dudes out there that want to fuck kids and they're sick fucks and all that, but, like, the bridge too far for me is the idea that somebody wants to make it mandatory. I feel like that you would definitely get a lot more dudes who would be like, it's time for rebellion. Because I don't want to fuck no goddamn kid. I mean, I don't even think that should be all that unrealistic. Is this what women think men want? Seriously. Because I can tell you I have absolutely no interest in impregnating a 15-year-old girl. Alright? Straight up. I mean, like I said, this is just where they lose me, man. This world sucks for the men, too. Alright. So I was gonna bring this on up, too, here. I haven't started it yet. I haven't really decided that I'm going to or not yet. I might at least give the first episode of the new Star Trek Starfleet Academy a try. I cannot imagine it's good, but, I mean, sometimes you're fooled. People online are calling it woke. Well, alright, interestingly enough, what I'm seeing in the comments section is a bunch of people complaining about people calling it woke. And then there's me, with my comment is usually, how did obesity make such a comeback here? I mean, seriously, like, this is the future. We have replicators, alright? Like, food is created on the molecular level. So how is it not, like, perfectly healthy? Theoretically, you should be able to make, like, chocolate that's actually like a superfood. You know? Theoretically. So that's where I'm at on that, but I don't know. It looks like it might be a train wreck, so maybe I'll check out episode 1. Who the hell knows? Maybe there's a gem in there. New Star Trek has been pretty awful. Even Picard was like, ooh, Yui. I mean, season 3, it was like, they hit the nostalgia notes all right. But, I don't know. I don't think Star Trek does well with long, season-long stories. You know? I do like it better when it's episodic. Episodic with breadcrumbs of the greater story. Oh, well. Alrighty, folks. Oh, just gonna give one last final opinion on this whole ICE murdering a woman in Minneapolis situation. And yes, it definitely is murder, alright? I mean, basically, if you left it up to me to deal out justice in this regard, yeah, no bullshit. The ICE officer would be doing 20 years. Straight up. You can justify the first shot, maybe. You can't, really, but even if you can in your mind, try to fucking justify the second and third. Yeah, right, no. Okay? And don't give me the stupid with the car thing. Like, yeah, I watched this video. He clearly stepped in front of the car to put himself in danger, so in his mind he could justify using lethal force. That's what was going on there. But to give the other part of it, as far as the woman's survivor there, the widow, no, I would be like, yeah, but you don't get to sue for shit. Alright? There definitely is some fault on their part. Okay? Now, yes, she did not deserve to get murdered, and it was murder. But, again, the survivor does not deserve compensation for this. She could have chose not to fuck around. And then her wife would not have found out. Of course, with all of this talk of this, and the Minneapolis police not really being all that fans of cooperating with ICE, I guess, and Trump's now like, I might invoke the Insurrection Act. I hope he doesn't, but at this point I wouldn't be super shocked. But after listening to Breaking Points talking about this, I'm gonna totally steal their idea. They put it out there, they were like, here's a great idea for a podcast if you want to. 30 episodes, every time the Insurrection Act has been invoked. Well, that is what we're gonna do here at the Daily Dose of Dawn. We are going to start a new segment where we one by one talk about the 30 instances in which the Insurrection Act has been friggin', invoked. Yeah, give me a reason to look all this crap up again, too. I mean, like, most of it, I already looked at some of it, obviously, because we're going to do segment number 1 in a bit here. But it gives me the opportunity to refresh my mind on it. So that's great. Alright. So, the first incident of the use of the Insurrection Act occurs in 1794, of course, under President George Washington. This is the Whiskey Rebellion. Bam, I'll give y'all a second while that fires back up in the brain. Okay. Let's just make sure all that is good. Alrighty then. So, the first one here, what triggered it? Federal government imposed an excise tax on distilled spirits, which is fancy talk for whiskey. Shit. We don't like that. So, basically, on the Pennsylvania frontier, whiskey wasn't just a drink, man. It was currency. You gotta remember, the U.S. dollar wasn't what it is today. In fact, it wasn't really nothing back then, if anything. So, yeah, whiskey would get you more than $1 would. Alright, well, once they started wanting dollars for your whiskey, local resistance, that one, armed groups, yeah, that didn't take very long. Okay? Well, basically, Washington was like, hey, this is kind of fucked up. We only been a few country for a few years now. We already got our own damn, revolution brewing. So, he invokes the Insurrection Act. He assembles nearly 13,000 troops in this example. Alright, and he personally led the way. Is the only sitting president to ever do this, by the way. So, kudos to him. Just an idea there, Trump. If you do invoke this, there you go. Why don't you do the same? No, you're not gonna, obviously. Alrighty then. So, that was the first use of what we call the Insurrection Act, basically. George Washington took his 13,000 troops down to Pennsylvania, he shut that shit down, and started collecting the taxes. Next time we move forward, it will get a little bit messier fast with Jefferson and Aaron Burr, but we will get to that in a little bit. And hopefully by then I'll have a better idea of how I'm doing it. Maybe not be playing a game that I can barely keep my train of thought while playing. Yeah, I hope you all enjoying the only episode where I'm playing this ever.
With their mark, steel boots crush the ancient earth. Banners raised against the sky, war horns split the air. Iron Legion comes, the star breaks overhead. Lightning cracks the vault of heaven. Hear the drums of the black order thunder speaks their name. All again, cause the faithful gunshot turn away. Line order, line order.
this will probably be the last match for this episode, folks. I hope you enjoyed the one and only time I'm ever going to be playing this game during an episode. Straight up, it is not easy to keep a train of thought going while friggin' doing this, so this isn't that game, I guess. You'll just have to enjoy this one without commentary in the future.
No mercy in their eyes, no quarter shall be given. The final war begins tonight beneath this crimson lightning.
Hear the tones of the band, all the thunder speaks their name. All the dead calls the faithful, unsheltered away.
Hopefully I come up with some good music out of this at least. William, send them blind. Yeah. Alright. Well, that's probably gonna do her for today, folks. Like I said, we are probably not gonna be playing this game in any future episodes. It seems this was an experiment which failed. Alright, but in the meantime, keep up to date with what's going on with your daily dose of